As John Masefield has said, there are few things more beautiful than a college. We are fortunate that in America, we have a diversity of opportunities for higher education. We have colleges and institutes and universities, large and small and in between, located in all parts of the country. Some are private, some are state and city supported, some are related to the church. This is Middlebury College, one of the oldest in the nation, an independent liberal arts college in the classical tradition. This is the place, a hilltop overlooking the fertile Champlain Valley, between the Adirondacks and the Green Mountains. This is a New England campus, where change of season gives the college a ruggedness of outlook, gives her citizens a sturdiness of spirit. And place is important. It is one thing that makes Middlebury different from any other college, that makes her sons and daughters Middlebury men and women. Each college and university is a place where something important happens, where youth learns, explores, matures. Yet, each college, each university has its own climate, its own personality. Each puts its own mark on those who take part in the experiences it offers. Indeed, the fact that in America, each is free to seek in its own way, its own goals, is a tribute to the freedom-loving men who founded Middlebury and other early colleges. How then do you discover the personality of a particular college? In this case, of Middlebury. Place is one way. Another is to look to her history, to her founding traditions. So, let's go back. Consider the times, 1798. A fledgling nation is beginning to test its wings. In Washington, a new capital is under construction. The eastern seaboard is the center of activity, but rugged pioneers are pushing forward on many frontiers. Resolute men and women are already carving a great destiny out of the rude wilderness. Before the Revolution, a band of Connecticut Yankees had settled Middlebury. Now, the town is beginning to prosper, and as it grows, its leaders look to ways the community can provide schooling for its young people. A charter is obtained, and from funds raised locally, Addison County Grammar School begins to take shape. This is a start, but only a start. Higher education is far off, 200 miles away in New Haven or Cambridge. There must be some way, they say, for our sons to continue their education close at home. In 1798, Timothy Dwight, president of Yale, makes one of his journeys through New England. He discovers a small frontier community, Middlebury, that is determined to start a college. The great educator finds that Gamaliel Painter and the other town leaders are practical men, as well as idealists, and he gives them advice and his blessing. Soon a petition is drawn up and presented to the legislature. 2 years pass, but finally, on November 1st, 1800, the charter is granted. Within a week, the college is in operation with 7 students. First is born a town, then a college. Gamaliel Painter was the moving force. He and the town leaders had a dream, and being men of purpose, they took the steps that forged that dream into reality, setting the course for trustees and leaders in the affairs of the college to follow thereafter. Jeremiah Atwater, who had studied under Timothy Dwight, was the first president. Dormitory rooms, the chapel, the library, and recitation halls were all in the original building. College life wasn't easy. Morning came early with prayers. Recitations and studying filled the day, which ended in the evening with prayers again. Latin and Greek formed the core curriculum of that time. Under the strict hand of Atwater and one tutor, noses were kept to the academic grindstone. There were few moments of relaxation. 2 years later came the first commencement, a momentous occasion for both college and town. The fame of Middlebury grew. Within a few years, the catalog listed students from Connecticut, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and New York. By 1811, there were 110 students. A new building was needed. Gamaliel Painter headed the drive for funds. In 1815, Painter Hall was built, and the business of education went steadily forward. From students came learned dissertations and theses. The library grew as gifts of books came to the college. In 1836, following an appeal for funds, Old Chapel was added to the growing college. The years that followed were not without trial and tribulation for the college. Nevertheless, Middlebury had already earned a real place in the life of America. Addressing the alumni at the 50th anniversary, President Laborie could say, "I see before me statesmen, politicians, college officers, jurists, clergymen, lawyers, physicians, editors, teachers, and men of business." Middlebury continued to grow, and in 1861, Starr Hall was built. Then came the Civil War, and with it, serious disruption. Students and teachers left the campus to serve both North and South as their beliefs dictated. But after the war, Middlebury renewed its strength and moved ahead, changing through the years to meet the demands that changing times and a growing nation presented. And with the years came physical growth. New buildings were constructed to meet new needs. As friends of the college had come forward in Painter's day, so now graduates and new friends continued to come, girding the college for the challenges of the time. So we look to history and traditions, and to the spirit of strong men building upon the work of strong men, determined to keep the college strong. How is Middlebury meeting the challenge of today's world? Let's consider her program, a liberal arts program. Just what do we mean by liberal arts? John Stuart Mill said, "Men are men before they are lawyers or physicians or manufacturers. And if you make them capable and sensible men, they will make themselves capable and sensible lawyers or physicians." This comes close to the heart of what Middlebury means by liberal arts. The college is an environment in which young people grow in 4 years into capable and sensible men and women. And the growth comes inevitably, not from preparing for a job or learning to perform a skill, but from acquiring the arts of thought and judgment. These are called the liberal arts, studies that make men free. These are the arts that the thinking mind uses to find facts, state truths, and make good choices. How do Middlebury students acquire the liberal arts? By sharing in man's intellectual progress through all the ages, by learning to winnow out what is best from what is merely good, by sifting and sorting and testing ideas in order to make responsible judgments. The liberal arts are the human arts, for the art of learning and the art of living go hand in hand. We learn with and from our fellows. We learn from failure as well as success. Middlebury provides the climate in which the liberal arts process can go on. Here, the pursuit is for excellence, always sought, if not always achieved. And as the test of the student is found in the classroom, so the test of a college is found in her graduates. Here is a dimension that reveals more of the personality of the college. Let's look at some varied endeavors that sprang from a Middlebury liberal arts education. The Dean of Men at Stanford University. A soprano with the Metropolitan Opera. The Assistant Director of the Brookhaven National Laboratory. An authority on celestial mechanics, whose calculations in the International Geophysical Year led to the discovery that the Earth is pear-shaped. The Director of Missile Research at Chance Vought Aircraft. the chief surgeon at the Shriners Hospital for Crippled Children in Los Angeles. The former governor of Vermont, now in the Congress of the United States. His wife also is a Middlebury graduate. The vice president for academic affairs at Syracuse University. A research chemist who returned to Middlebury to teach. A foreign service officer on assignment in the Soviet Union. The director of the Pasadena Art Museum. Yes, the achievements of her sons and daughters mark another Middlebury dimension. For each of these men and women, Middlebury was a 4-year experience, an experience with a beginning and an end. A good beginning is important. The college selects her freshmen carefully and starts them out carefully. Here, guided by a junior fellow, is a group of new men on their way to an appointment with the dean of faculty. Freshmen come to the campus early, before classes begin, to learn the ropes, to get a sense of Middlebury's purpose. At Breadloaf, the mountain campus where the summer school of English is held, freshmen get to know each other. The mountain club shows them its prowess. Later, at a reception, each freshman meets the president and his wife. This indoctrination period is also the time for beginning the serious business of education. Every entering freshman is assigned reading the summer before he comes to Middlebury. One of his first experiences on campus is to hear a faculty panel discuss the books and answer student questions and challenges. Officially, the college career for each of these students begins with the freshman convocation. Here, they first see the symbols that stand for the rights and responsibilities of educated men. Symbols that 4 years later, at commencement, they see in their full significance. Graduation is a privileged time. In the line of march are trustees and honored guests, faculty, seniors. The conferring of degrees is symbolic of the experience each student has had during 4 Middlebury years. Each has sought to learn the human arts, to gain tolerance, understanding, wisdom. These things cannot be conferred. They must be earned and lived. What students take away in mind and heart, what hopes, these give the college its reason for being. Solemn ceremony marks the beginning and the end, the freshman entering, the senior graduating. But the demanding business of liberal education goes steadily on, unheralded, in between. The students are the key. In fact, they are the one reason for the existence of the college. They come, these 1,200 men and women, from many sections of the country, from many parts of the world. They come to this campus in Vermont to live, to work, to learn, to think, to grow. They have chosen Middlebury, and Middlebury has chosen them, because they are able and eager to profit by the education this liberal arts college offers. Learning may be likened to an equation, and an essential part of that equation is the teacher. Here, the faculty are first and foremost teachers, men of learning, eager to transmit their love of learning to others, men of courage, committed to the disciplines of truth, and ready to follow where the search for truth leads. Men of good taste, good sense, good humor, men who can give facts a new dimension, who know how to challenge a student to choose the hard way of excellence rather than easy mediocrity. Here, then, is the real force of the program, the interaction of minds of student and teacher. From the classroom comes fact, but more important, thought about fact. In this English class, the teacher brings a synthesis of ideas and attitudes that makes Shakespeare a world brave and new. Minds are quickened, sharpened. Here is opportunity to catch a professor's enthusiasm for his subject.
The best way I know to define the medieval genius is to try to take Henry Adams's words and use his idea. They were trying to scale heaven. There were three ways particularly that you think of in the way they tried to scale heaven. The first was in going on crusades. The second was in going on the job of building cathedrals. The third was on the job they tried to take in building scholastic philosophy. By crusades, what they had in mind was to go to the Holy Land, take the tomb of Christ back, and to use it for the people who were Christians and could worship there properly. The second thing they had in mind was in building cathedrals, the loveliest sanctuaries of God that human hands have ever made. The third way was in building scholastic philosophy. What they wanted to do there was to take the ideas from the Bible and the Fathers, and the ideas, on the other hand, from all the Greek philosophers, and particularly from Plato and Aristotle and the various guys who had commented on them, and to build these into one tightly knit system. And this took 600 years to do, and another about, 50 or 60 years to find out couldn't be done. When they found they couldn't do it, what happened was that they had to start building somewhere else. And it was this building somewhere else that begins modern civilization as we understand it.
Each man works in his particular vein, each in his own manner, produces interaction with the students. The give and take of classroom discussion is one way. Groups are small, no one is left out. At Middlebury, the senior men in every department like to teach, and they have an opportunity to do it. Here, an advanced class in statistics is taught by the Dean of Faculty. Sometimes a lecture section may be large, as in this biology course, freeing the professor for individual work in the laboratory. The interaction is immediate and direct, as in this history class. Or in this political science seminar. Middlebury's program is flexible. As a result of an advanced placement test, this freshman moved into sophomore chemistry. Music and art thrive at Middlebury, for the arts give wisdom and understanding that mere intellectual exercise cannot impart. Here, the head of the department uses an abandoned Vermont quarry to show students new ways of looking at their world. And as they learn to see, as they learn to create, they find lasting values. Middlebury's work in foreign language is part of her long tradition, and the college continues to pioneer in modern methods of teaching language.
Я ехал на тройке из Тифлиса.
Я ехал на тройке из Тифлиса.
Вещей у меня было очень мало.
Вещей у меня было очень мало.
Немного одежды, несколько книг — это все.
The Chateau was the first language house on an American campus. Here, students must speak only the language they are studying. The Louis XVI room, magnificent with gilt panels, crystal chandeliers, and mirrors, was moved to Middlebury from an 18th century Paris mansion. It provides a pleasant setting for a French seminar.
Oui, je crois que c'est très essentiel, vraiment.
Parce que les petits imitent tout ce que vous dites.
Oui, et l'aspect oral est la chose la plus importante, je crois, pour les petits enfants. Mais est-ce qu'on comprend?
Oui, vous voulez dire qu'on ne comprendrait pas?
Oui, je crois que
Je me demande si on va comprendre.
Je crois que de temps en temps, il y a les conseils.
Middlebury also maintains graduate language schools abroad in Paris, Madrid, Mainz, and Florence, and graduate summer language sessions on the campus. Individual study and research complement the interaction of student and teacher. The resources of an excellent library are at the student's fingertips. In the open stacks, they may browse or ferret out a particular reference for a research project. The library is noted for its great Abernathy collection of American literature. A student goes to college to learn, but learning comes in many ways. It comes at an informal meeting at a professor's home. It comes from living and working close to other people, from being part of a club, a fraternity, as well as from classroom and books. The college gives students the chance to test and develop their judgment in many activities. Maturity may come from working on the college newspaper, or from helping the Women's Forum work with children in the village. Or from staging and producing the ice show for the Winter Carnival. The opportunities are many, varied. Work in the theater on a student-directed play combines an outlet for creative expression with the very real discipline of meeting a deadline. Yes, the liberal arts are the human arts, learned with and from one's fellow men. And as they are in life, the roles are many and varied. The body, like the mind, must be active, must be challenged. Middlebury offers a balanced physical and recreational program to interest every student. Open country surrounds the college, and its invitation to outdoor exercise is strong and compelling. Some students find their challenge in the rigor and discipline of intercollegiate sports. Others find enjoyment and pleasure in the extensive program of intramural sports. Here they have the fun, the experience of team play, the sense of purpose that comes from working together for the sake of the team. A game here is as hotly contested, victory as highly desired as on the varsity field. For college is a place where memories are born, memories that will sustain the spirit on some later, bleaker day. Perhaps the memory will be of an alumni homecoming game. We may not remember the score in later years, but the sense of youth, the sense of being there, of being a part of something greater than ourselves, will remain. And memories will be born on the ski slopes, so much a part of the college scene. The Snow Bowl on the mountain campus draws nearly all students during their life at college. In competitive skiing, Middlebury's teams have a national reputation. Middlebury is a small college, deliberately small. Part of its philosophy is that the experience of the liberal arts can be happiest in the society of the small college. Middlebury was born with a purpose, and her students come with a purpose. That purpose is the pursuit of excellence. Excellence as exemplified in this boy who chose Middlebury to study modern languages. Finding in a freshman science course a new challenge, he shifted his major to chemistry, was graduated valedictorian of his class, and is now at Harvard, securing his PhD in chemistry on a Woodrow Wilson Fellowship. The search is for excellence, not only in things academic, but in the arts of living as well. The friendly atmosphere of this small liberal arts college makes the search rewarding. Jan Otto, a National Merit Scholar from Delaware, transferred to Middlebury from a large university to be able to work more closely with faculty members. He majored in physics and is now at Dartmouth, a graduate assistant in the physics department. Gail Smith, daughter of an alumnus, came to Middlebury from Massachusetts. Following in her father's footsteps, she majored in physics. Interested in drama, as an undergraduate, Gail took part in all major dramatic productions. She is now doing graduate work in astronomy and physics at the University of Leiden. Diversity of interest is another dimension that reveals the personality of the college. Gail, for example, worked behind the scenes designing costumes for the players. Let's look behind the scenes at the interests and activities of other typical Middlebury students. Linda Tanner from Arkansas enjoys the creative arts, dramatics, and the dance club. She won an Atlantic Monthly Award for creative writing, a scholarship to the Breadloaf Summer School of English, then decided to transfer to Middlebury. An English major, she continues her interest in writing. She finds Middlebury a good place for creative work. Gary Artisan from Massachusetts came to Middlebury with the fixed purpose of becoming a doctor. He has also found opportunity to take part in many activities as a junior fellow, president of his fraternity, and varsity lineman. He is a biology major, but he has chosen a variety of courses, like this one in theater arts, to satisfy his wide interests. Another pre-med student, Roger Christian from New Jersey, majored in biochemistry. As an undergraduate, Roger considered two possible careers, medicine and the ministry. He served as lay preacher and leader of young people's groups in churches near Middlebury. In his senior year, he was co-chairman of the annual religion conference. Here, Roger introduces an alumnus who is a senior professor at Brown. He held his own with distinguished guests at an informal dinner given by the college chaplain. Medicine won out, and Roger is now on his way to medical school. Carol Keyes from Shaker Heights, Ohio, talented figure skater with many American and Canadian titles, sacrificed a possible berth on the Olympic team to enter Middlebury. A Dean List student, she majors in French, but she still skates for pleasure and in the Winter Carnival Ice Show. Studying here in the Frost Room in the library is Elena Bookstrom, an American literature major. Elena holds one of the top scholarships in the college. She came to Middlebury from Denver, Colorado to prepare for a teaching career. She's a nationally recognized competitive skier, a strong contender for a spot on the next Olympic team. David Hanscom from Rumford, Maine is another fine skier, member of the ski team and a competent jumper. A physics major, Dave picked Middlebury under the 3-2 cooperative program with MIT, by which he receives both his Middlebury A.B. and his MIT engineering degrees in 5 years. Bob and Jerry Freiberger like the out-of-doors. and find in a country college friendships with professors who also enjoy outdoor life. The twins from Duluth, Minnesota are political science majors and plan to become lawyers. Accomplished hockey players, they form with their younger brother Dates the only all-brother forward line in college hockey. Another hockey player, Art Wilkes from New Canaan, Connecticut, majors in philosophy. He will choose either business or education following active duty with the Army as a reserve officer. A three-letter man, football, hockey, and tennis, Art is a junior fellow and chairman of the Men's Undergraduate Association, a top undergraduate post. The varied backgrounds of Middlebury students, their widespread interests, their ambitions and aspirations, the common purposes that bind them together, these reveal a significant dimension of the college and a compelling reason for its being. The dimensions of a college are many, but most important of all, perhaps, is the pursuit of the excellent, the love for truth that motivated the founders of this liberal arts college, and that must continue to motivate free men today if they are to keep themselves free.